Hello, true crime family. I'm going to talk about the Idaho case today. I have a few things that I would like to discuss with you. I want you, if you have time, because I spent like 2 hours going over the grub truck video. There's so much going on in that grub truck video that we missed. We really missed a lot. So when Maddie and Kaylee began to come into the picture frame of the grub truck video, it was Jack S was in between the two girls. He walked in with them. He didn't follow them. He was in between them. So he walked in with them. I do not believe he was hiding from the camera. If you go really slow, you know, everyone says he turned away from the camera, but he didn't, because when he took his hat off, his whole face was exposed to the camera. And he wasn't trying to hide his face. He took his hat off, he turned it around, and then he put his hood up because I think he was cold. I don't believe that he was trying to hide. And I went really, really slow, and then I'd go back and I went really, really slow. There's a guy that has a jersey on, a football jersey, and it has a number 9 on it. And Maddie had quite the conversation with him. Like, he touched her shoulder at one time and she gave him a hug and they had a conversation. I didn't even see another girl come in and kiss the guy, number 9 guy, on the lips. There was so much that we missed from this video, and if you go back and you go really, really slow, it will definitely change your perspective on the whole thing. It changed mine. So let me continue. So like I said, he exposed his whole face. The other thing, okay, so if you think he was following the girls, he was, like stalking the girls that night. I think he walked them from that bar there. And I think if he was going to stalk them, he would have stayed in the background and kind of, lurked back there while the girls were getting their food at the grub truck. But he didn't. He had almost, I don't know, several minute conversation with the Joe guy, and they laughed. And there were the guy that didn't have any coat on or anything. He spoke to him and he went like that to him, like, wow, you're the man, and gave it up to him. And while the girls were up at the truck, right? And so if he was, stalking them and he was going to do something to them, why would he be having all these conversations, and letting people know, hey, I came in with these 2 girls and now I'm gonna go kill them? It just doesn't make sense. So Joe also said that, when he did his video or whatever he did, that Jackass told him he was just making sure the girls got home because they were kind of wasted. Then the girls went up to the truck and they got their food. So do you think I don't think that he seemed upset at the girls at this time when he was communicating with the other guys. And even Joe pointed. You can see, it looked like it was Jack who pointed at the girls, but it was also Joe who pointed at the girls too, but it looked like Jack's sleeve. And if you take this really, really slow, you'll see all this. And then some people said when he reached in his pocket, they thought they saw a knife or a gun or whatever, but he was just getting his cell phone out, and I kept going back and forth really, really slow, and I didn't see anything there. He also, communicated a little bit with, the girls. Also, Kaylee. Okay, so when Kaylee was holding the camera up to take a picture, if you go really, really slow, you will see, how Maddie was trying to grab other people's food? Well, if you go slow, you can see where it looked like Maddie was trying to jump up into the grub truck. Kaylee thought that was hilarious, so she took her phone out, and Maddie did it again so she could take a video or a picture of her trying to climb in the grub truck. And that was very interesting to notice. Let's see. Yeah, Kaylee was laughing. So back and forth. Yeah, like I said, I watched this for an hour and a half. I couldn't see. So, when the girls went to get into the car, and Joe said, hey, they're leaving, and then Jack took off. Do you really think he would be mad enough? I mean, the way that when you watch it slower, you'll see how he was laughing and having conversations with all the guys. Do you think he was that mad that he would go and take the lives of 4 people? I don't. And believe it or not, in the back of my mind, he was like one of my number 1 suspects, and now I don't feel that way at all. Not after I slowed down that video and watched it for an hour and a half. I do not believe it at all. So I do want to talk to you about, I've got 3 little piles here, what I'm kind of leaning towards right now. Where is it? Sorry about that. I'm kind of not prepared, am I? Let's see. Where is it? No, that goes there. Okay, so I'm just going to start here. So, you know how I have a really bad feeling about the Church of Christ or whatever that weird church is that's in that town? They are trying to recruit people from all over to come to that area of Idaho to belong to their church. And like I said, women, to the men in that church, women are supposed to be submissive and listen to what the men say, and the men are, the dominant in the relationship, and, women should be subservient to them. So the other thing, I've read a lot about this, and if you go to some of their websites, you would be horrified at some of the things that they say. And they're incels. So what an incel is a heterosexual man who blame women and society for their lack of romantic success. Male sexlessness is on the rise. Male population between 22 and 35, they have never had sex. This is on the rise as well too. And I think it has to do with our devices. We spend so much time on devices that we don't have human to human contact, and that has changed things a little bit. But if you go and read about it, no one has said anything about what I just said, but that's just my belief, and like everything I say here is just my opinion. Just remember that. So sex is on, men who have never had sex is on the rise, more so than it was a decade ago. There is now a community of incels based around mourning their celibacy. This group is known to stoke a culture of bitterness and rage. And they have each other. So they get together or they go online and they feed off of each other. And they believe women have, let's see. Okay, so what they believe is women have become extremely sexually promiscuous. The name that they have for these women are Stacy's. They also believe it is a small amount of males who dominate the opposite sex, like the females, and they're considered alpha males. The incels call them Chads. The alpha males are Chad, and the promiscuous women are Stacy's. This was recently, there was recently they called it a terrorist attack in Toronto, Canada, in which 10 people lost their lives and brought global attention to the incel movement. In California in 2014, an incel, if I said intel, I meant incel, sorry. An incel took the lives of 6 and injured 14, stating war on women for depriving me of sex. That's what that guy said. Another incel killed 9 people in 2015 and left a manifesto praising the incel from 2014. The incels want sex, usually not being able to perform. They direct hate at women. They become obsessed with their beauty. The rage intensifies. Women are the cause of their suffering. The fantasy, tension, and rage just builds over time. It just builds over time. And then they act on these feelings. And with that church being there and the mentality that church has, I just am not feeling the student thing. I'm not feeling it. And, if it's not this church thing, I just don't think it has anything to do with the college kids. But that's just my opinion. Let's see. Wait, I'm not going to rag on law enforcement anymore. They get ragged on enough. I did want to talk about the community. A person, it was a fella, that sent me an email from that area, said that he is, not the best looking person. And these girls treated him very nicely. Maddie and Kaylee, they made him feel like he was a part of their chats when they would chat. And he said that Moscow is like a ghost town right now. And when he walks down the streets, if there's people walking on the same sidewalk, they walk over to the other side, which is good because they're following what law enforcement is telling them, to be super aware of your surroundings, right? And I think that's really, really important. But I also wanted to bring something else up, and I'm not saying that they're linked in any way, but it's just so bizarre to me. So in my town, well, not my town, but my county, we had Lyric and Elizabeth. They were abducted and they lost their lives as well, and that was almost 10 and a half years ago. And what color was the vehicle? White. 3 people said they saw a white van in the area where the girls were. And it was on what day of the month? The 13th day. Then you go to Delphi, and what color was the vehicle in Delphi? It was a white vehicle. And what day of the month did that occur on? The 13th. And here we are in Idaho, and we have, these folks that lost their life on the 13th of the month. And now they're searching for a white vehicle. And this is just kind of a joke, was like, does law enforcement have a book? It's a white vehicle. It's done on the, it's just something I saw and I thought it was kind of bizarre. Okay, so let me find out. Okay, so I did kind of want to chat about the mainstream media. They put down YouTube creators and with just cause, because some YouTube creators just make things up, and it's just horrible. It just makes me so mad because they're just out for clicks and views, and people like us, like my channel is tiny, and I don't care that it's tiny. I just want to look out for kids. That's my main thing, and people that don't have a voice for themselves anymore. And if I can share something that another creator that's way bigger than me can take and use, I'm all for it, because I'm really interested in true crime. So it's one of my passions, and I enjoy doing it, and if I think I can help, then that makes it all the better. So mainstream media, Fox News, and I don't even have TV at my home. I don't. I used to watch the news all the time. I used to read the paper all the time when I was younger, and now I won't, because you can't believe it. And that's why I said the other day I was getting frustrated because of all of this drama that's going on in true crime. I hate it because you had those channels that you felt you could trust and go to, and now they're involved in this drama. Just let it go. Let it, I'm not saying let it go if somebody's defaming you. You have to take care of that, but you don't have to come out here and talk about it to us until something's done about it. It's like, yeah, it's not good. And the same thing with Fox. I mean, if Kaylee's dad didn't say the things that Fox said, he said, oh, they're going to be in big trouble. So, let's see, what did Dad say? Where was it? We'll go over to this one. But before I get to that, I'm sorry, let me talk a little bit about law enforcement. So this is what law enforcement said, that, the white car, they're not thinking that the people in the white car are suspects, right? They just want to talk to them and have them maybe contribute to this investigation and help solve the murders, but they don't think they're suspects. But anyhow, that's about the white car. The other thing that law enforcement said is they spend hours and hours on going through the tips. They re-interviewed some of the people and they spoke to from the past. They are going through videos, hours and hours that people have sent in on the tip line. But what happened with that video at the convenience store? Why didn't law enforcement go get the videos at the convenience store? Why is it, a community person that spent her third shift downtime going through hours of videos to find that white car? And again, it was, one of us, a community member, trying to help solve this case and send in the tip. It wasn't law enforcement, but they're going through hours and hours of videos. They also said, as far as safety goes, we should make it a new way of life to be extra sensitive to our surroundings. And that's really sad. He said there's not a specific elevated risk. Okay, why is he saying that? Again, it goes back to money and politics and, the college. So it is an elevated risk until this perpetrator is found. And if I lived in that town, I would be on higher risk at all times. They're 100% committed to solving this crime, working around the clock, 7 days a week, and it is still a daunting task. They are willing to go anywhere in the nation to follow up on leads. Rumors are taking away from valuable time for law enforcement, especially with YouTube. Law enforcement wants more than anything an arrest. They don't just want an arrest, they want a conviction. We all do. They said they owe that to the families of Xana, Maddie, Kaylee, and Ethan, and also to the victims. Family is quite frustrated. They felt people were cleared way too quickly. Kaylee's dad has spoke out once again, stating that the wounds of I think it was Kaylee, were big gouges. Now, I want to talk about this because I have not seen anyone else talk about this. And people are saying, well, it's probably an axe. No. So this is my little letter opener. So we're going to use this as help me explain what I'm talking about. So this is a letter opener, right? But let's pretend like this is like a K-bar type of knife. So up here, there would be ridges, and down here, this would be the sharp part. These ridges up on the top would rip and tear. And that's what Dad said, that Kathy, the coroner, said, that these were like tear marks or rips. So when you put that in, it's going to make ridges or tear marks or rips up on the top, and then this will be straight down at the bottom. But, in the military, and I don't know if they do this nowadays, but if you really want to hurt somebody really bad and you want it to be over with, you stab like this, twist, and pull it out, and that would leave a gash. That would definitely leave a bigger gash than this. In, turn, out, or in, turn, but that would be harder. But like you go like this, and that would leave a bigger gash for sure. I'm not saying that's what it is, but that's more logical to me. And, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is, when you use a knife, mainly, a lot of women use knives, when they get mad at their husbands or whatever, it's a personal thing. You get up close and personal with the knife. And that's something that you have to think about. And how I was talking about these incels, how, they can't perform, and this fantasy of the rage, and they see these women as beautiful, but if you go to the videos of these incels, they talk about beheading these beautiful women, these sexually provocative women, promiscuous women. They see them, they think they're beautiful, they want them, but and they have major rage, and it's quite evident the crimes that they committed so far in the past. And that's just, I didn't go deep into how many crimes they have committed, but those are 3 that I talked about. And look how many. They didn't take the life of one person. Did you see how many lives they took? It's like, and that kind of brings me to this. And maybe they looked at Ethan as a Chad, as the alpha male, and he got the pretty girl. I'm just saying, but what do I know, right? So let's see, where was I? Kaylee's dad spoke and, talked about the wounds. Steve said that Kathy, the coroner, had reported this to him. She also stated that this is not stab wounds. It's more like tears or rips. Clearly the work of a sadistic male. And the sadistic male goes back to these incel kind of people. Some are saying an axe, but I don't feel that. I already talked about what I thought it was and how I thought it could have occurred. Kathy also, the coroner, Kathy also said that the deaths would have been quick and they would not be able to call 911. She had also added that this would not be a case where they would bleed out. It would be too quick. Steve's daughter went on Facebook and she stated that this isn't anything her dad said. This isn't what her dad said to Fox, that it was taken out of context or misunderstanding. And so if that's the case, then, and Fox is, not telling the story like, the father actually said, that because they want to make money, they want to sell media, right? But they did quote the dad, so with the quotations it makes you think that maybe the dad did say it and then the daughter Olivia is walking it back. I don't know. It did say that Kaylee's family is contacting their lawyer to get it removed from Fox News. And then I have something else here. The other thing is, I already talked about that, mainstream media, and how, I don't believe half the stuff they say. As far as the dad, try and put yourself in his shoes. He lost his daughter. He's concerned about the other girls in the town. You can tell that. That's why he's kind of angry at law enforcement for not coming out and saying, hey, we have a real problem here. Girls, you better, well, not just girls. We don't know if it's an incel and he doesn't like alpha males, maybe it'll be males and gals. But I think Kaylee's dad wants them to come out and say, this is a real problem. He's not asking them to come out and, give up all the, evidence that they have. There are cases out there that law enforcement only have one piece of evidence that they haven't, that they didn't disclose to the public. And it only took that one piece of evidence to solve that case. And, so we're not, the dad and us aren't asking you, what did they say about, they said a sharp edge object is what the girls were killed. Just say it's a damn knife. Seriously? Why say it like that? Okay? Seriously. You didn't even have to say it's a caber. All you had to do was say it was a knife. But you have to play these stupid games, and that's what makes the father mad and people mad. Be upfront, about certain things. If this was my daughter, I would be, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. I would be insane. I would be out there on the streets, interviewing people. I would be doing everything I could to help find this person. And is that right? No, it's not right, but that's what I would be doing. And there was another case where a mother, her son got convicted and went to prison, and she dressed as a prostitute. She went down to these seedy bars and she did everything she could to prove that her son was innocent in this case. And I think he ended up walking, but I can't remember. That would be me. I would be doing anything I could to find leads about my daughter. So I understand where this dad's coming from. I'm very, very worried about this family, though. Sometimes families can't survive a loss such as this. They have media harassing them. The law enforcement are no help, kinda. And honestly, the law enforcement's out there, trying to solve this case. So, and I'm not trying to be mean, but they really don't have time for this family. That's quite evident as the way they treat them, right? And even Xana's mom and the others family. I don't know what they're getting. They're kind of quiet, but I would be like Kaylee's dad. I wouldn't be quiet. That's my only daughter. Not his only daughter, but for me, it would be my only daughter, and I would be insane trying to find answers. Let's see. So this is all added stress to this family. If this family splinters at this time instead of sticking together, then this could split this family up. And that's what happened to my family in Evansdale. Oh my gosh, I haven't got to finish that story yet, but when you hear it, it is so sad. It is so sad because it just ripped this family apart and the extended family as well. And so please don't let that happen. Please stick together. Please try and understand one another. And, as a dad, and the patriarch of the family, and he's like an alpha male, and he is supposed to protect his family. I can see all that coming from him. And there's one other thing that I want to tell you about, because it's kind of a funny story, but it's not. There's a park down the road, and it's kind of hilly, and there's like a bridge and a little stream that goes through it, and we like to walk there. As a family, I take my grandkids there by myself, but on this particular day, my daughter, my middle grandson, and my youngest granddaughter went with. And we were hiking and talking and looking at the birds, and me and my grandkids and my oldest son, we're rock hounds. So we love to collect rocks. I mean, if you saw my house, there are rocks everywhere. And, that's what my son and I did when we went to Arizona. We climbed and we looked for rocks, and we had a great time. So we went across this bridge, and as you know, we have been in kind of a drought this summer, so there wasn't that much water under the bridge. So we all went down there, and my granddaughter picked up a stick that was like the size and roundness of a baseball bat, and it was about this long, and she was like, flipping the rocks. So look at this one, Grammy, look at this one. And I was bent, down on my knees, and I was looking at the rocks, and my daughter was over here with my grandson. And the next thing I know, I see my daughter. I didn't hear anything, but I see my daughter looking up, and I turn around, and there's a guy that's like 6'3". He's dressed all in camouflage, and he has a bag in his hand. I'm like, oh shit. So I look at Megan, and she just kind of looks at me like that. And, my kids know when my eyeballs get a certain way, like, you need to do what I say, kind of, So I kind of, with my eyes in my head like that, and I told Remy, I said, let Grammy have that stick, Remy. And so Remy gave me the stick, and I was looking up at the guy, and the guy's like, no, ma'am. He's like, my son, I came here, we love this park, and it was fall, and the leaves were real pretty. He said, I'm supposed to go hide over there behind a tree, and my son's going to stand on this bridge and propose to his soon-to-be wife, and that's why he was dressed like that, and that's why he was just saying hi to us, and I was grabbing the stick and I was telling my kids to go that way, and I was ready to take this guy out. And he laughed and we laughed, but you need to be aware of your surroundings. You need to, and I hate saying that in this world today. When you go into a place, always know where your exit is. Always, always, always. As soon as you walk in, know where it is. Be aware of, if somebody's looking at you suspiciously, get out of there. Don't take chances. Anyhow, I'm just being like a mom and a grandma, and that's just me. So anyhow, I'd like to thank you all for your support and your great comments. I love them. Someone did send me, gosh, I almost forgot about this. This is spooky. It's on that phone. I'll have to bring it up next time, but, oh, darn it. Anyhow, he sent me this, and he said that, Ethan, I'm going to mess it up. Ethan had a football coach that was really interested in him. And this football coach came down with Ethan's parents to see him. Well, Ethan knew a secret about this football coach that this football coach probably wouldn't want out because he liked boys. And this fella, well, I don't know if it was a fella, that sent me this, said, this is kind of important, and no one really knows about it or is talking about it. And I asked him if it was okay for me to share it, but I'll share it on my next video. I'll read it to you, and we'll go from there. So anyhow, let's continue to pray for the people that have bad thoughts, and the people that have mental illness, and pray for the families that have lost people. And I just want to tell you I love you all, and I appreciate your support, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.